Hey guys, how's it going? Kamina the coach, and wow, another video really close to the last one. It is January 2nd, 2024, and I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I also don't ignore signs, or messages from the universe. So if you're new here, my name is Kamina the coach. I've worked and lived abroad for a very long time, and I've been on my own since I was 14. So I've spent a lot of time trying to get it right inside of myself. And then March of 2020, I moved back to the United States due to COVID and really started addressing really serious early childhood trauma connected to my adoption. So videos that you'll see on this channel are a mixture of things that I've done that help me live a better, healthy, more well-balanced life. You're going to hear my washing machine spinning, living abroad, and dealing with and working through early childhood trauma and adoption trauma. So I am in a beautiful place. A lot of that thanks to plant medicine, a lot of that thanks to some really great people, a lot of it thanks to my own dedication and commitment to mindfulness. And I think that what you discover as you get more in touch with the spirit that runs through all of us, that you may call God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you call it, the all that is us. I think that as you get more in touch with that, I think that a lot of people really struggle with a huge sense of guilt, because there are things that they know that they should or should not be doing that they continue to do. So currently I'm in my 9th different country. I'm here in Baghdad, Iraq, and I am finishing up this contract. Thank goodness. It's been a very difficult contract. But moving on to, and don't laugh at I just now realized you can see my plaid and my snowflake leggings. Whatever, I'm at home. So I'm moving back to Mexico. I had planned on staying here 3 to 5 years. I'm here at a very unfortunate time. There's conflict going on in Gaza that breaks my heart, but not just this time. It is a place that has historically been in conflict, this region of the world, and as I get more in touch with consciousness, it becomes too loud for me to be here. In a meditation last night or this morning with a group, a New Year's meditation, I had to have another meditation with the meditation leader because I'm not extremely close to Japan, but close enough. Japan just had a horrible 7.6 earthquake. People suffering. I can hear the people in Gaza. I can hear the people in the Ukraine. I can hear, and I'm just much closer to it here. So being in an area that carries so much collective trauma, and then working through my own, it's just not healthy for me. And some people are able to do it. I'm not one of them. And it's taken a huge toll on me being here. So I had planned on staying here to be able, long enough to be able to buy a small piece of land back in Oaxaca, Mexico, because that's where I want to stay. And my goal was to buy a little piece of land, work at a government university, because I can get residency after 4 years. I get tenure after a year. I get sabbatical after 7 years. Land is cheap. The people are amazing. And the cost of living is low. And Mexico's amazing. I speak Spanish fluently, so why not? But still, okay, so can't do that now because I'm going back to Mexico, yes, but I can't buy property now because I didn't stay here long enough to be able to do that. No problem, it's fine. And it really is, it's fine. Hopefully I'll find someone to partner with who will let me permaculture their property out, and that it will be beneficial enough for them at the end of the day that they would be happy to have me on their property indefinitely, and hoping to be a benefit to them and to their community. However, so coming back to what I was saying before, moving on my spiritual path, so if you've watched any of my old videos, and this will slightly contradict one of my older videos, Everything is Not for Everyone, that's the video. I remember the title. I remember where I was when I did it. I was in Myanmar. So focus. What do I want to do? I want to do permaculture, sustainable agriculture, something small. I want to provide for myself. I want to provide for the community. I want to regenerate the soil. I want to try to put some of the carbon that I've put in the atmosphere back into the ground. I remember being in high school and taking earth science and just being devastated. I was like, we're all going to die. And that was when I was a teenager, so I can't imagine how the sensitive young people, the very sensitive young people, some people aren't thinking about it, and some people are just in situations where they don't even have the energy to think about it because they're just trying to live. And I recognize that and I acknowledge that. I am of the fortunate, privileged few that has been able to have that worry about what about the earth. And so, over the years, not for the earth, but for my health, over the years, I have tried to go vegetarian on some plane. So, again, returning to my spiritual path, and the more conscious I become, the more guilt I feel about not just the fact that I'm consuming rotting flesh and pus, but I actually haven't had milk in cow's milk in a long, or goat milk or anything in a long time, but I have partaken of cheese. I've come to a point now where looking at the effects of these things on the earth, not just on my body as about to be 45-year-old woman, the effects on my body. I just watched an amazing documentary on Netflix, What Are You Eating? Or something like that, and where they did a twin study with a plant-based diet and a healthy meat carnivorous diet, omnivorous diet. And across the board on all the things that they tested, the plant-based twin did better. And these are identical twins, so they're genetically the same. Gut biome, organ fat, all that stuff. So it's healthier for my body. So I'm not unaware of the fact that vegan culture does not come without detriment to the earth. Let me say that. I am aware of that. However, when I have gone vegetarian in the past, I did a lot of meat replacement, and I've got to be honest that I don't feel like that was healthy for me. And I feel like that is what caused me a lot of sickness. The first time I tried to go vegetarian, I did a lot of meat replacement, a lot of soy, and all these things. And so this is still manufacturing, and it's still using fossil fuels, putting carbon into the air, unless it was made by hand, which a lot of it is not. To be able for it to be affordable, it can't have been made by hand. So I am not unaware that vegan culture is creating its own problems. However, And I don't know how I've convinced myself after all these years, after seeing the documentaries on chicken and cattle and all that stuff. The mass farming of cattle, chicken, and pigs is just absolutely disgusting. It's abhorrent, what they do to these animals and the lack of life that these animals have. And so I said, going into my permaculture stage, sustainable living, that if I was going to continue to eat meat, that I had to find a way to butcher my own meat. Because if you're eating meat, shouldn't you know where it came from? And shouldn't the animal have had some quality of life? I watched a chicken farmer say, oh, horrible dreams last night. I watched a chicken farmer say that, you know, he saw these chicks, because they've been genetically modified, or they're breeding them to have huge breasts. And so this tiny little chick with little beanpole legs, with, you know, that can't walk because the breasts are so huge. And living in Saudi Arabia was the first time, I think, that I'd seen a chicken in the store that was a real chicken. And we were all like, wow, these are really tiny, because they hadn't been messed with, because this is a real chicken. So, yeah, the quality of life of the animal, they're just disgusting. Looking at a pig farm, I was kind of looking forward to getting back to the United States to eat some pork, to be honest, because bacon tastes great. However, after watching so the Chinese bought Smithfield in North Carolina, and it used to be the best barbecue in North Carolina, Smithfield. But apparently China has bought their hog farms, and they're collecting their feces in big ponds and then spraying it out on fields and spraying it all over all of their neighbors. When a pig dies, they're putting it in a bin, and it just sits there until somebody comes and collects it and grinds it up and feeds it back to the pigs. Furthermore, processed meats like bologna, sausage, salami, I love it, summer sausage, bologna, any of that stuff has been labeled a level 1 carcinogen, on the same level with cigarettes and plutonium. I had to stop and let that sit in. Processed meat on the same level, level 1. On level 2 is beef and chicken. Okay, I'll just be a pescatarian. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The mass fishermen, these huge nets that are catching all sorts of other things that they don't care about, turtles and sharks and dolphins and all that biodiversity that we need in the ocean to continue to live. So that part, putting all this horrible crap into the ocean, just like cruise ships, that part. And then the ones that say wild farmed, it's the same thing as the animals that are kept for livestock. They're peeing and pooping in their own stuff. So they're all deformed and just bacterial infections. And they showed anywhere where they're being farmed, so like salmon where they're being farmed, the wild salmon are all dying because of all the crap that those salmon farms are putting into the water. So rising levels of mercury, rising levels of microplastics. I'm saying do what you want, but knowing from epigenetics that you could have the gene for Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, diabetes, but never get it because of lifestyle, knowing that's science, by the way. How could you not change? I mean, what you're eating is literally killing you. Nobody is smoking cigarettes anymore, but they're still eating weenies baloney. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I grew up on it, but I also had my gallbladder out at like 17. So I have gone, I won't call it vegan because I do still have honey. Um, and it's very interesting how expensive animal products are. Like, or, yeah, honey is the most expensive thing I have right now. I use honey for medicinal purposes. I make a sludge of turmeric, coconut oil, cinnamon, lemon, honey in the mornings that I take every day. But honey will probably go eventually too. I hope that I can cultivate agave while I'm in Mexico. We'll see. So I'm pleased that I don't have to figure out how to slaughter animals. I feel at peace now because I really was feeling deep conflict. If I couldn't figure out how to butcher an animal, I really didn't feel like I had any right to be eating it. Where is what you're coming from? Where is what you're eating coming from? Most of the beef in the world is coming from Brazil, and they're cutting down the Amazon forest for this cattle. I know that my little part in the big scheme of things doesn't make that big of a difference. However, my consciousness is part of the collective. And for me to fully feel at peace, I know that I have to do what I know is right in my soul so that I can feel peace, so that I can continue to tap in and be the change that I want to see. So I will not become a political vegan. I just know what I know. For health, for my own personal health, for the health of the planet, for ethical reasons for animals, I am going plant-based. I started today. I made an amazing meal. I hope that I don't get fluffy and overeat. I am going to step up my workout regimen because all of the twins kind of lost muscle because they weren't working out enough and not eating enough. So step up my workout game and step up my my plant-based diet game. I'm an excellent cook, so it'll be all right. I've seen fat vegans, so I'm not going to be starving. And wow, that's where I'm at in the world. How privileged am I to be able to do a video about something like this? Makes me feel almost ashamed. Do you know that if you're able to watch this, you're in one of like the top 8% of the world? If you have food and clothing and you live someplace that is not war-torn, yeah, you're a very privileged person if you're watching this. So I am humbled and I am honored that the universe has chosen me to be in the position to share the messages that I have to share, to have gone through what I've gone through, to be able to share the message that there's hope in spite of it all. And as always, I will wrap it up here. My name is Kamina the Coach, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, Kamina the Coach, I'm out. Peace.